Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Crochettluna podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California, where it is definitely spring and allergies are raging. It is a beautiful day. Today was absolutely gorgeous. Everything is blooming and man, is it hard on some of us who suffer from allergies. But I'm all medicated up and I'm feeling great. So I want to say thank you so much to all the new subscribers. I've seen lots of new people subscribing to the channel. I want to say thank you and welcome. And I have a gajillion things to talk about today. So many things. So many things. So get comfortable, get your knitting, your crochet, your projects, get your tea, your coffee, your beer, your wine, your vodka, whatever your poison is. I don't know why I said vodka. You know why? I'll tell you why I said vodka later on in the episode. But yeah, I'm keeping it PG. This is just tea in here. There's nothing crazy going on. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with some life updates. Tax season is officially over here in the United States. Let's see, today's the 18th. Actually, I will probably be uploading this episode after the 18th. But if you didn't know, there was a glitch, and I'm sure a lot of you could care less about this. But there was a glitch with the IRS e-filing system this year. So they actually extended the filing date for your taxes until today, April 18th at midnight. So for all of those of you who were running around like crazy yesterday, you had an extra day to file your taxes. File and send in your, your tax money. Why do I bring that up? In my previous life, my last incarnation, I worked as a bookkeeper slash tax preparer. So that meant that January 1st through April 15th, sometimes the 16th, if the 15th falls on a weekend, then the 16th, I was literally buried in paperwork for tax returns, because I was doing tax returns. I was preparing simple tax returns, and I was preparing corporate tax returns and small business tax returns. So they were very stressful. It was always a stressful time of the year for me. I never saw my husband, my kids. I didn't see anybody. It was sort of like, shut the door and mommy will see you in 3 months, 3.5 months. And there were aspects of that life that I really enjoy. I still prepare taxes because some friends and family will not let me retire from that. So I have been working on tax returns, and I just have the one left that's on extension. You know who you are. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's such a stressful time for people here in the United States that I really feel like, I really felt like when I was working, preparing taxes, that I wanted to make it as painless as possible for people. And so what's funny is that when I essentially retired from doing that kind of work, I felt so relieved, because tax season was not the burden that it was. It was something way more manageable. And even saying that, I didn't realize, I started the podcast about a year ago in March, and I didn't realize how much goes on in March and April still for me, that it's been crazy. Like, I am running, you know how people say you're running on fumes? I am running on crafting fumes. Like, I barely am keeping it together, people. I mean, it's just like, just trying to do what I can to get things done, and it's just been sort of like a crazy, like a chicken with no head. But anyway, it's worth it in the end, because you feel a sense of accomplishment, and that's great. But enough of that. Tax season's over, and I'm feeling good. The arthritis is under control, and just a lot has been going on, but I'm happy to say that health-wise, everything is great. Now, let's talk about May. May is going to be even crazier. It is my 10-year anniversary with my wonderful husband. My dearest friend on the planet is getting married on the 19th. My daughter is having her first communion on Cinco de Mayo. Like, who has first communion on Cinco de Mayo? We do. What else? Yeah, so basically, I mean, every weekend in May is booked, and I'm planning a baby shower for my cousin who's having a baby, and I think it's going to be in July, and I'm a planner. I'm a total event planner. I love planning for events. For a millisecond, I thought I would go into the event planning business, but what I realized, because I planned a couple weddings and some baby showers and some what do you call it, bridal showers. What you come to realize is that when you do that kind of work, you have no weekends. You work every single weekend. So backed up from that, but I love planning parties, and I love planning events. So I'm looking forward to planning a baby shower. All right, let's get to what you're here for, which is Fortune Cookie Cow winners. Let me just say, you guys are freaking amazing. Not only did you have to interpret a fortune, you had to crochet or knit a project. Some of you did more than one. Some of you did like 12. Amazing. You guys blew me away. When I counted all the projects, I came up with a final tally of 62 finished objects. Amazing. Thank you so much for participating in the Fortune Cookie Cow. I can't tell you how happy it made me to read your fortunes, to read your interpretations, to see your finished projects, to see your works in progress. We had a lively chatter thread, and I'm very happy with the way that turned out. And it turned out so well because you guys put in so much of your creativity into it, and it was amazing. So let me talk about my fortune cookie project. I was not able to finish mine. I tried really, really hard to work on. I've only been working on 2 things, and actually have not been crocheting a lot because taxes, basically, paperwork. But I did put in some time, and I am still looking to finish my fortune cookie project. I will show you what I have because it's amazing. It really, really is. It is living again in my fortune cookie bag. It's a pattern by Alex Creates, Alexander Reynoso. I don't know why I just like saying his whole name. The Hypnotic Eye. You've seen this 1,000 times now. This looks very simple, doesn't it? It looks very, a little bit on the plain side. No. That middle portion has surface crochet on it, and I'm a big fan of surface crochet. I don't know what it is about it. I really enjoy how that looks. To me, it almost looks like a, that knitted brioche people like to do. So I have finished the eyeball part right here, and I use the whole skein of Oink pigment of Don't Be Coy, that's the colorway, yarn that I had. I just actually, because it's done in a spiral, I just went till the yarn finished, and that was it. Ugh. bug. Sorry. Oh my god, you guys. It's gonna be crazy today. It really is. So, look at this. Oh my god, it looks so good. Look at that crazy eyeball goodness. I'm gonna show you a close-up of it. So, this in between the color is surface crochet. All of this is all surface crochet. And what it did, because the colorway, this is the one that I use for the surface crochet right here. I don't remember what the name of this colorway is, but I will put the names of the colorway in the description box in the show notes so you can see it. So this gray color is exactly, because this is Oink Pigments as well. This is exactly the same color as one of the 3 colors in the Don't Be Coy yarn. So what it did, it really tied things together, and I am loving this. This is about 50 centimeters across. I mean, almost perfectly, almost 50 centimeters across, which is what the pattern requires. And then after that, I'll be adding the rest of it. But look at that. Look into my eye. You will give me yarn. Just kidding. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with that, and it's been a great project. I just love repetitive crochet. I really enjoy that. I have no issues. I don't get bored with it. I know some people get bored with repetitive crochet and they need a lot of different changes and stitches. I'm more, the yarn has to be entertaining. Like, the yarn entertains me, not so much the stitch. And so this particular pattern does that for me, and I really like it. I would like to announce the winners of the Fortune Cookie Cowl FO thread and the Chatter thread. So for the FO thread, the winner is Mystytat. I will put your name right down here. This is your Ravelry name. And please contact me with your address so I can send you your prize. So what is your prize? Your prize is going to be, and Mystytat, I think your name is Sandra, right? Sandra? Yes. So Sandra, you are going to get the Fortune Cookie Bag, excuse me, Fortune Cookie Bag that I made. And inside of it, you are going to get this really cool notebook, which comes with needle and thread, and then you can design your own pattern in the front, which I think is really cool. Here are some examples of what you can do. So you're going to get one of those. You're also going to get one of these little, what I'm using mine as a stitch mark holder. So you're going to get a stitch mark holder. You can see here's mine, and it holds all my stitch markers that I have. So you're going to get one of those. You are also going to get 2 40 yards. I think this is 40 yards. Yeah. Each of these is 40 yards of, you're going to get these minis, and they were dyed by the indie dyer What the Flock. They were part of a swapless swap that we did here at the Crochetluna podcast. That was hosted by Happy Scrappy Life. That's Lisa from Happy Scrappy Life. So you'll get the 2 little minis, which I think are really pretty. And you are going to get my newest enamel pin. This is the newest pin that I have created. It's the Crochet Friends Are the Best of Friends pin. I don't think that was showing up very well, but I'll put a picture so that you can see it, and I'll talk about this a little bit later. So you're going to get that, and just send me your address, and I'll get this out to you as soon as I get your address. So congratulations. And by the way, Sandra did an amazing job. She crocheted, she made about 12 hats and scarves for charity, And if you have a chance, go check out her finished object post in the Ravelry group, and you can read a little bit about her fortune and all that, which is amazing. I think that is wonderful that you've done that. Now for the chatter thread, I have, and I'm going to take a drink of tea first, because I'm going to completely butcher this name. I need like a phonetic spelling. I need a phonetic description of how to pronounce this. So, Stephen, I got the Stephen part right, but the Ravelry name, I do apologize. He is the Artsy Pescy. I think that's right, or Pescy. I don't know. I will put the name right here, and I'm really, really sorry about mispronouncing your name, but he did a beautiful, beautiful shawl. If you have a chance, please go check it out. So he is the winner of the chatter thread, but he also posted the finished object in the finished object thread, and it's an absolutely beautiful shawl that he did. So you will be getting the other project bag that I made, which is this one. You will also be getting the notebook. You will also be getting the stitch marker holder. And you will be getting your own set of minis from that die or What the Flock, as well as the Crochet Friends pin. So message me on Ravelry and I will get those out to you. There is a third prize that I would like to award, and I would like to try something different for this third prize. Deanne from Addydae Designs has very kindly gifted copies of her Blurred Lines sweater pattern to the podcast, and I would like to do a group favorite. So everybody who participated in the FO thread, if you could please go back. Actually, if you're part of the Crochetluna podcast group on Ravelry, you're also welcome to vote. But go into that FO thread, and you know at the bottom where it gives you the options to, where it says funny, interesting, love. Well, click on that love button once for the project that you like, and I will see which of the projects gets the most love, and I will award that Blurred Lines sweater pattern on the next podcast. So please only vote once, and I will close it. Let's see, today is Wednesday. I will close it this coming Sunday at, I don't know, 5 p.m. my time. I will close that FO thread. Even though now if you go into the Ravelry group, it says closed. I did not lock it, so you can still go ahead and make your choice. So go in there, look through all the projects, pick your favorite one, and then that person will get a copy of Blurred Lines. If you already have a copy of Blurred Lines, then you will be welcome to pick a pattern from Ravelry up to $10. We'll just do it that way, okay? So I have put together a slideshow, and I think I got everyone's FO. It was quite the task to do it, so I'm hoping that I didn't miss anyone. If I did miss your project, let me know, and I apologize in advance if you don't see your project, but I think I did a pretty good job in catching and putting everybody's project into the slideshow. So here is a slideshow of all the projects that were finished for the Fortune Cookie Cow. About upcoming cows. So there's a cow that started a couple days ago. It's Deanne is hosting it. Deanne from Addydae Designs. She is the designer of Blurred Lines, which is this gorgeous, gorgeous sweater. Her cow started April 16th and is going to run through June 17th. I'll put the information down here. And so I really feel like if you're going to attempt to do blurred lines and you've never done a garment before, this particular crochet along is going to be immensely beneficial because you're going to be part of a group and there's going to be people who have already maybe even tested the pattern or have done the pattern. I know Caroline, who is Inspire Professor and also hosting the Mind and Mune podcast, did an amazing blurred lines sweater that was part of the finished objects in the Fortune Cookie Cow thread on Ravelry. So I think it's a great opportunity to make this sweater and you'll get lots of help. I'm sure Deanne will be able to be there to help you, and other people who have crocheted garments and maybe even tested the pattern will be able to help. So highly encourage you to check out Deanne's podcast, her Ravelry group, and to join it if you're going to do the blurred line sweater. So that is Deanne's cow. Now, I want to also remind you that Allie from Little Drops of Wonderful and I are hosting a Dobby Bag Mouth. And we are going, I know in my previous podcast, I put the date starting June 4th, but I'm sorry. I said the starting date was May 4th. We're not going to do that. It's going to start exactly on May 1st and end on June 1st. So May 1st through June 1st, I'll put the information here so you can see it, is going to be the start of our Dobby Bag Mouth. And I really am so excited because lots of you have already reached out. You're dusting off your sewing machines. You're pulling your fabrics that you've been looking at for the past months or years, and you're ready to make some bags. I'm really excited about this smell, and I know that it's going to get a lot of you guys sewing, and that is just fantastic. I'm so glad that you will be joining us for that mail. I want to say that it is still my intention, though, I mean, I have failed miserably in the cows that I thought I was going to participate this quarter. I really did. I mean, I had every intention to making some crochet knockers and a different designer cow. It just, you know, I wasn't able to do it, and I'm not beating myself up about it. I still have every intention in the world to do my different designer cow, which is my different designer pattern, which is my Lucinda shawl, which I've shown a million times. And it's still my intention to make some knitted knockers, crochet knockers, because these are things that can be done throughout the year, and I'm sure I can send them to the organization and they will happily accept them. It's just that I wasn't able to fulfill it during the time span of those cows, and it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it if you can't finish a cow project. This is, you know, we do this because of for the joy of it and because we enjoy it. And I think if we start putting these stressful deadlines or pressure on ourselves because we don't finish things, or you know, for whatever the reason is, then it's not going to make our crochet enjoyable. It's just going to be another thing we have to do. And God knows we have a list a mile long of things that we have to do. So don't sweat it. Don't stress out. Enjoy it. Keep crocheting, and it's all good, right? Okay. Following my notes, I want to talk about my, well, not mine, the cow that I am co-hosting with Elizabeth of Crochetcakes, and that one is going to start June 15th, and it goes through August 13th. It is the Summer of Romance Cal 2018. Bad boys and bad girls we love. Woo! It's going to be a hot one. Yes. You guys have thrown out some amazing names. You know, what's interesting is that last summer, we did Summer of Romance couples, and Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice was a big time player in that cal. Well, somebody has said Mr. Darcy for the bad boy this summer, which I thought was pretty interesting. And we have lots of vampires, and we have lots of, you know, Negans, and we have, let me see if I can look real quick on here. Let's see. Let's see. Some Game of Thrones people. We've got some Supernatural. Now, what's really funny about the whole Supernatural thing is that my husband is a huge fan of Supernatural. He tries to play it off and be cool about it, but he's a huge fan. And so when he started watching Supernatural, he tried to get me to watch it, and I was just like, it's okay, whatever. And I never went past season 1. So now I am watching Supernatural. I am on season 3. I am totally digging Dean, and I was watching Michelle's podcast, Mickey Midge. I'll put her name down here. Watch her podcast. She's got a lovely podcast. And she was talking about the fact that she was going to join in the summer romance cal, and that she was going to pick Dean Winchester as her bad boy. Well, as she was starting to talk about her bad boy, my husband is walking behind me, listening to her say, oh, I'm going to pick for the summer romance bad boy. And he says under his breath, somebody should pick Dean from Supernatural. And Michelle's like, oh, I'm going to pick Dean from Supernatural. And he just starts laughing. I mean, it was like so funny, because that, I mean, I could totally see it now. I could totally see the attraction to Supernatural. I'm completely have run out of shows to watch. I'm all caught up with Doctor Who. I'm all caught up with Walking Dead. I'm starting to watch Fear the Walking Dead. So I'm watching Supernatural, and I love it. And I know that Holly from Yarn Journey Podcast is a big Supernatural fan as well. And so I get it. I get it, guys. I get it. Dean, yes, I get it. Sam is a little too angsty for me. Like, I don't do well with angsty people. I'm more of a Dean type of person than a Sam. But Summer of Romance starts June 15th. Get your bad boy or bad girl ready. Get your project, your yarn, and let's have an awesome summer. All right. Now, I have yet to show you any crochet. So, I'm doing a little bit of a cheat this time because I don't have any finished objects. That doesn't mean I don't have something to show you. So if you remember, last podcast on my mannequin, I had a shawl that I told you that I found that I had crocheted a long time ago. Actually, crocheted, I think it was in 2014. I think so. And I didn't have time to talk about it, so I want to talk about it this time because I fully intend to follow through with the original idea. So it was one of my early blog posts that I talked about this shawl, and I am a huge fan of Frida Kahlo. You guys know that. And I had seen I went to an art show. It was a show put on at Llama, which is LA County Museum of Art, where I'm a member. And it was a show called Wonderland. Now, Wonderland was, and I'll read you the title of the show. It's called The Surrealist Adventures of Women Artists in Mexico and the United States. This is the book of the show. Look at this amazing picture. So, usually when I go to a show like this, I like to buy the catalog for it. It has better It has way better pictures than I could ever take of the work. Description, I mean, it's just to me, it's a must. If you like this show, buying the catalog to me is a must. So I went because Frida's pictures were there. One in particular, which I actually went back and I went and saw that exhibit like 3 or 4 times, because one of the paintings that they had was Frida Kahlo's Two Fridas. It's a large painting. It's a massive painting. And I have seen a lot of her work throughout the years. I'd never seen this. I tell you, I could not stop looking at this painting. I just would stand in front of it. I went a couple times without anybody because I like to just stand in front as long as I want in front of a painting. And when you're with other people or with a group of people, they might not get that. You know, they might want to just move along. No, I literally sit in front of this painting for long periods of time. And so I was very inspired by it. And I decided that I was going to crochet something that was my interpretation of the Two Fridas painting. So I went to the yarn shop, a yarn shop in Redlands, California, which is no longer open. And I was looking at the yarn there. And this is at a time where I knew nothing about yarn. I mean, this might have been my maybe 2nd or 3rd trip into a yarn shop. Maybe. But I knew exactly the colors that I wanted. And it just so happened that Plymouth Yarns, it's 100% merino wool in a fingering weight, had exactly the colors that I wanted. Except for the red. The red ended up being a Cascade yarn that has some sparkle in it. And as a matter of fact, it's the same kind of yarn that I used for a granny square top that I did last year. So I will pop a picture of the Two Fridas painting here so that you can see the color scheme that I'm working with. I will also show you the earrings that I'm wearing today, which I'll show you, you'll see a picture of them. It's actually the Two Fridas right here. I know it's too far for you to see them. Maybe I'll take them off and show them to you. But I will also put a picture in the here in this episode so you can see it. But here are my Two Frida earrings. So inspired by the painting, inspired by the art show, and actually I was very much inspired by my earrings. I went ahead and picked out a color scheme. I picked out the yarn even before I bought the pattern. That's how crazy backwards things I was doing. So this is the shawl. It is a long shawl, which, I mean, it has some mistakes because I was, you know, still trying to figure stuff out. And this is the red detail. And I love it. It's a beautiful stitch. And it is a free pattern called the Sweet and Simple Shawl by Elizabeth Mareno. This is the shawl right here. This is free on Ravelry. You can find it. When I crocheted this, it was not a PDF download. Now you can get this download. Super simple. I actually had to go through her blog and I followed the pattern that was posted in her blog. So I love this pattern because you can make it as big as you want. You could just continue to repeat for as much as you want. And what I did is I had bought so much of the blue yarn that I wanted to finish all of it. So I don't have, if I do, it's very little what I have of this yarn. So this is the yarn and this is the wrap. The way I had always thought to approach this project was that I would do one shawl to represent this side of the Frida painting, and that I would do another shawl, a second shawl, to represent this side of the Frida painting. And for that, I was just going to use this is Red Heart Shimmer. I don't know that you can see the shimmer on here. Maybe a little bit. I was just going to use this and maybe like a very light gray, which I still haven't found. And I would do exactly the same pattern, but I would just have 2 shawls that would represent the 2 Fridas. So I never got around to finish that second shawl, and after I found this one, I'm so completely inspired to do it that I can't wait to have those 2 pieces finished. So that is my finished object that I'm showing you. Though I finished it a while ago, I think it's still something you haven't seen. The pattern is lovely. And I think it is something that if you wanted to try a rectangular shawl instead of like the, asymmetrical triangle or the V ones, then this is another option for you. Let's see, what else do I have? All right, Lucinda is still a go. I will still be working on Lucinda. I'm putting that in my project queue. That will be the next project that I work on. I realized I've been kind of like all over on this episode. And, usually I put my little titles and all that to separate the segments. I don't think that's going to happen with this one, so just bear with me. Follow my train of thought, and I hope you still enjoy it. I have my work in progress number 1, which is my eyeball shawl. And then I have work in progress number 2 that's living in my Stitch Con Amor bag right here, which is my Erika Night mittens, which I have worked on. And these are really long. So I thought that this was the bottom. No, this is actually the top of the arm, like this, because you change hook size and then you end up going to a smaller hook size to work towards your hand. So I've worked, look how pretty that looks. I've worked on these a little bit. I got a little bit wonky right here. You see that right there? I'm just gonna seam it up and block it out. It's going to be fine. I'm using my Fjord Fibers wool and this mohair paired together on that. So that's whip number 2. And let's see, after that we've got my Lucinda shawl, which I already said I'm going to do. And let's talk Sandra from the Cherry Heart Podcast. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I got to hang out with Miss Sandra here in my lovely neck of the woods when she did her podcast saying, oh, I'm going to be in the Laguna Beach, Huntington beach area, give me some yarn recommendations. I was like, Sandra, let's do a yarn crawl. Let's hang out. Let's go, go, go. She must have thought I was crazy. But thank God she took a chance and we met. I have a whole story to tell you about this. The week before Sandra was due to come out, I had said to my husband, you know what? I'm not very familiar with Orange County yarn shops. So let me do a little recon and see what's there, because several had popped up on my search. So I'm looking online, I'm doing my search, and the first thing that pops up is the Pearls Soho warehouse in Irvine. And I said, what? Because Pearls Soho is like the super cool yarn shop in New York. And their warehouse is out here in California, in Irvine, California to be exact. You would never be able to find it unless you know you're going there, unless you search for it and found the address. You would drive past it 1,000 times and never see it, because it is not a place that is geared for foot traffic. It is the only warehouse that they have out here that deals with all of their online orders. So every order that you submit through the Pearl Soho website gets shipped out of California. So when you go there, what you have is racks of yarn and other incredible stuff. When I decided that I was going to go on this recon session, I said to Evelyn, my cousin Evelyn, that, you know, she should go with me. And actually, I'm trying to get Evelyn to podcast with me. Evelyn, you should totally podcast with me so you can show your beautiful crochet projects. And I said, we're going to go. And I said, we're going to go check out these places and see if, you know, it's something that's worth bringing Sandra to. So I'm doing my search and I find the Pearl Soho website and we go there and it's like, we opened the door and it was like angels came down and started singing to us. That's how beautiful it was. I mean, it's not fancy, it's just beautiful and it's full of beautiful yarn. And there's like nice music playing and there's lady winding beautiful yarn and they've got this table. You know, I'm horrible at taking pictures to document what I do. I should have taken pictures of that table. There's a table when you first walk in that has samples of their different yarns that they have and it was so pretty. They have books, they do embroidery, they stock all kinds of like sewing material. They have Liberty of London fabric at $34.99 a yard. Woo! That is pricey fabric. But it's beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And so we were walking, you know, with Evelyn and we were just enjoying our time there. And I thought, this is definitely a place to bring Sandra. And I'll show you what I got there. I have so much stuff, you guys, so much stuff. So I have alpaca in my stash. I have never had any baby llama. So I found this yarn. Look at this. Look at that, you guys. This is like baby llama made in Bolivia. Here's the tag. There's no colorway, I think. I don't think that there's colorways for this. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Eco Llama. No, I'm not even gonna attempt it. Just look at the pretty yarn. And I found this one. So I thought these two look fabulous together, and they're so soft. It's like you just wanna hug them. They're just so beautiful and soft. So I got this at the Pearl Soho warehouse. Okay. Then, and I am not going to name any yarn shops. And I'll tell you why. I was quite disappointed in Orange County yarn shops. Now, it could be because the LA Yarn Crawl happens this weekend and maybe people were holding off restocking their shops for the crawl because they're all getting all this stuff in. But I went to a yarn shop that I don't think had, I didn't even see any hand-dyed yarn. So I hate being negative about yarn shops because I want to support yarn shops because yarn shops support our indie dyers. And yarn shops should be a magical place that you go to. But by the end of my recon session with Evelyn, we were both kind of like pissed and tired. It was not fun. It was not energizing. I didn't feel like my creative juices were, what do you call it? I didn't feel re-energized by the process. So we went to 3 additional shops. And I did buy yarn in all of 3 shops because, again, I want to support. And I'll show you the yarns that I got because the yarns that I did find were beautiful. But I will give you an example. And I don't want to rant. I'm not going to rant. But I'll give you an example of the ridiculousness that I had to deal with that day. I went to a yarn shop that had a table that had some sell items on it. It had patterns, and it had finished like little knitted booties. It had things. So there's a table, picture a table full of stuff, and it has X% off. Next to it is a basket on the floor full of yarn. I find two. One was that almost looked like a full cake of yarn, and one was like a smaller cake of yarn that I thought were pretty colors, no tags. So I picked them up and I say to the owner, these don't have any tags, how much are they? And she says, oh, those are not for sale. Put them back, they're not for sale. They are for the samples that we make in the store and the leftovers for the samples for the store. I said, okay. But it was like, she was like, put them back because they're not for sale. So I was just so turned off by that, because why are you putting that next to, why do you even have it on the floor for people to even bother asking you the question? And the other thing that didn't make shopping there pleasant at all is that she had her like big screen TV on, and it was playing like some People's Court, some like midday courtroom show with people bickering, and I'm like, this isn't making me happy to be here. I just want to leave. And she did have a lot of beautiful samples, and she had a little corner full of crochet, and she did have some, she had a lot of yarn, but none of it was anything special. So we went to another one, which was equally unimpressive and not special. And then we went to a third one, which by that point we were both like, let's just go home. So we're on our way back, and we hit, and I said, you know, this particular shop I know will have hand-dyed yarns because they're very pretty. I've been there before. They seem to stock that, so I don't think we'll be disappointed. And then we walked in, and sure enough, they had a good stock of really pretty hand-dyed yarn. Some were local, some were not. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this is gonna kind of like rescue the day. And I'm looking around, and I see all these beautiful samples. Of course, 100% knitted. I think there was maybe 2 crochet projects, which is another pet peeve of mine. Like, you know, I wish there were more crochet samples on display. Again, I'm just gonna leave it there. And I said, oh, you know, I like this sample, where is the yarn for that? And it was like, oh, we don't have that. Okay, walk around some more. I see another sample. I said, where's the yarn for this sample? Yeah, we're out of that too. Okay, and then mind you, we walked in, no one said hello to us, and there was like a knitting group there. And you know what's really weird is I'd been there before, and the people were a lot more friendlier. I got a more friendlier vibe the previous times I'd been there. And like I said, people have bad days. Maybe the person that was selling that day was not on their game or whatever. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So they come to a third. Mind you, we've been there for like 45 minutes. Come to a mannequin with a beautiful shawl. And I said to her, where is the yarn for this? And she goes, oh, we're out of that kit. So I'm thinking, so what the hell can I buy here? I mean, they're out of everything. And it's not like she said, well, if you like that combination, maybe you could use these yarns to make that shawl, or maybe you would like nothing, like zero help. So again, I want to support yarn shops. I want to go to a yarn shop like when I go to Sin City in Las Vegas, and it's like the bar, cheers, you know, like, hey, everybody knows your name. I want to go to a yarn shop and have that be a happy place in whatever town, city, and location that I'm at. But what consistently happens is that that is not the case. So the places that do provide that are places that I'm going to go as a repeat customer. And like I said, Sin City Knits. I will drive to Vegas to go to Sin City Knits. I love Yarning For You, which is my local yarn shop in San Marcos. And there's other ones here in San Diego that I like, and there's some that I don't, because I just don't feel the vibe. I don't feel it. But like I said, I don't want to keep ranting and focusing on the negative, because I did get some beautiful yarn, and I will show you. So, like I said, I'm not going to mention where I got these, but these are Malabrigo. Yes, look at that. That's beautiful, right? I'm pairing these two up. I think these two would make a beautiful something or other. I don't know, but these wanted to come home with me. They wanted to be rescued, so I brought them home. So that's one purchase. Then I purchased this yarn called Picking Wildflowers, which is absolutely gorgeous, by a indie yarn dyer called Twin Mommy Creations. There's Twin Mommy Creations. This has sparkle in it, you guys. It has sparkle. You had me at sparkle. It's beautiful. I love it. Look at all these colors. And then I said to Evelyn, we can't punish the yarn dyer for the bad experience at the yarn shop. So it had to come home with me. And she also bought some yarn. Then I also purchased it fell. I also purchased another Malabrigo that wanted to come home with me. Look at that beautiful color. Is that not gorgeous? So I did buy some yarn that day, and I'm looking at the yarn and it's making me happy. So we will just leave the bad experience and chalk it up to maybe people were having a bad day. And as a matter of fact, I'm not one to leave reviews, but I did go on someone's Facebook page, one of these yarn shops' Facebook page, and I did leave a little comment about what happened, and they did respond right away and said hopefully the next time I will have a better experience. So I do appreciate that. So on the heels of that, I was it me that contacted, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna go up to the valley, which here in California is like Northridge, Reseda, to visit my aunt because I was doing her taxes. And I contacted Zelda, which is Z-Mail80 or Zelda NRJ3. I'll put her information here. And I said, we had tried to connect previous times and it just didn't work out. I said, hey, I'm shooting up, making this trek up to the valley. Do you want to get together and have lunch? And she said, yeah. And then she's like, hey, we should contact Stephanie, the Tatted Tatter, because she lives close to me. So we ended up did I tell this story already? I'm not even sure. I'm just going to say it again. So we get together for lunch, and basically I was telling them this whole bad experience that happened, and they both looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, if Sandra's coming, you need to take her to the LA shops because they don't mess around. You want good yarn shopping, you need to make your way up to LA. And I was like, I don't know if she'll want to like do a whole day thing with me. I just thought I'd keep her local, you know. I don't know, because you just don't know. Like, she doesn't know me, you know. I could be a completely crazy person, or, you know, I don't know. Anyway, kept my cool and said, you know what, it is worth it. I will definitely take her to Pearl Soho, and then I'll hit these other two shops. One of them I knew about one of the shops because I had visited them, and actually it's one that I talk about in my very first episode, and they were in the process of moving, and they are now at a new location, which I had not visited, which I was dying to go visit. And Zelda, who is actually a mail carrier for the United States Postal Service, that's her route, and she's like, hey, if you're here with Sandra, send me a text. If I'm around, I would love to meet her. And I said, sure, I'll send you a text. So I had messaged Sandra, and I said, hey, this is kind of like the itinerary I'm thinking about. And she was so cool about everything. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. I picked her up, and it was so nice to meet her, Sandra. You know what a lovely time I had with you, and I just want to say thank you so much again for hanging out with me that day. I hope you had as much fun as I did. So I picked Sandra up, and we go to Pearl Soho, and we hang out there, and it was really nice. And then we shot up the freeway, which I was so worried about because it was a hot day. It had been like 94 degrees the day before. My AC is going out on my car. I have it scheduled to go in for maintenance, but I was worried that it was not going to be comfortable in the car, but it was okay. I thought it was okay. So we go up to LA, and the first place that we visited was the Little Knittery. Again, this is the place that I mentioned on my first episode, but they were at a different location. And we walked in, and it was like a legit yarn shop with like indie dyers, fully stocked, beautiful displays. I'm not sure if you are aware, but Kat is the owner of the Little Knittery, who is also the person who I believe developed the pattern for the Pussy Hat, for the Pussy Hat project. And when we went there, they gifted Sandra and I a hat. They said that there is a lady here in San Diego that crochets these hats and sends them up. Like, they had a huge box full of these hats, and we can go through them and pick out a hat. So we each got our own hat, which is great because I crocheted about 7 of them last year, and I didn't get to keep one of them because they were for orders. So now I have my own pink hat, which is cool. And there is a colorway developed especially for Cat called Cat Pink, I believe, that is absolutely gorgeous that I would have bought, but they were out of stock that day. So we went there, we're looking at all the beautiful stuff. Just, you know, it's exactly the experience that you want when you go to a yarn shop. You want to look at beautiful yarn. You want to be inspired by the beautiful yarn. You want to feel like you're welcomed into the store. And that is how I felt at the Little Knittery. It was absolutely awesome. So we're looking at the yarns, and I was picking out several colors, and I couldn't make up my mind. And Sandra actually helped me pick out these beauties. Look at these. These are Manos, the Uruguay Alegría. Here's the tag. This one, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, yes, 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 ma'am, you're going home with me. And then with this, yes, Sandra helped me pick these out. So they came home with me, and I love it. And I can't wait to find a project. They're so squishy. I can't wait to find a project. But you guys, right? Can you just, I know. After we went to the Little Knittery, it was lunchtime, and I wanted to take Sandra somewhere where she could have an awesome lunch. And so I decided we were going to go to Porto's. So Porto's is a Cuban bakery that has the most delicious baked goods. And I will pop some pictures here. And there, and I mean, you cannot not appreciate all the beauty in the desserts that this place makes. And you can also have lunch. So Sandra and I had a lovely lunch at Porto's, and then we made our way to the Altered Stitch, which, again, angels came down from heaven to sing to us when we walked in. It was the best store, full of yarn, full of indie dyers, full of just beautiful colorways. I mean, we were both like, we were like little kids in a candy store. We just didn't even know where to look and touch and squish, and it was just amazing, and it's all and everything a yarn shop should be. And the owner is fantastic, and I loved being there. I had such a good time there, and we both, okay, so let me tell you. I've heard of this brand of yarn. Like, I've heard, you know, we hear about these brands, but I said, oh, look, Sandra, they have Spun Right Round. And we're both like, spun right round. Eee! Look at this colorway. Oh my goodness. It is like a party in here. Look at that. Look at this. Is this not the most amazing colors ever? And I know Jody from the Grocery Girls loves this company, and this is called Graffiti, and it's beautiful, and it now lives in my stash. So we saw this, and then this, La Pièce de Résistance, woolen boon yarn in the most amazing colorway. It's called Super Cool Party People. Like Sandra and I were like super cool party yarn people, right? Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just about died when I saw this. I'm like, yeah, this is, you know, the yarn has to talk to you and say it wants to come home. It wants to be adopted. And this one was saying, girl, you better put me in your cart and take me home. So I did. So I don't know what the heck I'm going to make with this, but it's absolutely beautiful and I love it. So that was my yarn purchasing that day. The Ultra Stitch, the Little Knittery, Pearl Soho Warehouse, all were amazing places to shop for yarn. And actually, look at this. This is what I purchased at Pearl Soho as well. This beautiful embroidery thread, because I have a piece that I'm going to work on that I have already designed, and I have actually 2 embroidery projects that I'm going to start. One is going to be for a wedding gift, and one is going to be for a series of embroidery projects that I want to do. So could not have had a better day with Sandra. She's so lovely. Like, I can talk nonstop. Like, it's not hard for me to just keep talking, as you can see. So kudos to you, Sandra, that you put up with me with all the talking. We had a really nice, we were stuck in a car for like a long time, you guys, and we had a nice conversation about everything, you know, our kids, it was lovely. She's such a nice, lovely, down-to-earth person, and it's one of the things about the podcast that I am enjoying so much, is making friends, fiber friends, and meeting people that I would never in 1,000 years be able to meet. Like, when would I ever get a chance to meet Sandra from England, or, you know, Stephanie, or Z? You know, these are all my crochet sisters. I consider them all my crochet sisters, because we have this love for yarn and crochet and making things. And so I feel more than privileged that I am a part of this community, and I am humble and I am grateful for the opportunity it affords me. And I just hope that you guys get a sense that you are part of the community. Even though we may never meet, I want you to know that you mean a lot to me, and that through this podcast, I feel connected to you all out there. So I had a great time. It was absolutely a highlight for me to be able to hang out with Sandra, and that I'm hoping she enjoyed her time that day. So rounding off this Yarnopolis segment with the acquisition of all the yarn, I want to show you a bag that I purchased. This bag, which has got moons in it, you know how I love my moons, and these little otters here, isn't that so adorable, is by a lovely podcaster slash Etsy shop owner maker. Her name is Ashlovmakes. Right here, there's her tag. And I purchased this bag because I loved the fabric. It was so calling my name. I love it so much. And it's Ashley makes these bags. Very, very nicely made. It's got a box bottom. It's got this super bright yellow fabric. And it's got the, you know, the handle. And I so appreciate people who can put zippers on. I personally prefer drawstrings because I don't want my yarn caught. But I think I'm also because I'm kind of afraid to put on zippers on things. So I really appreciate how well she constructs her bags. I want to just highlight her beautiful bag. Check out her podcast. I will put in the name of her podcast. And she also does a lot of Instagram live stories, which I love. I'm like a busybody. I want to know everything. I really am. You know, it's like is it Mrs. Kravitz from Bewitched? I don't know. Which is the busybody neighbor? I am not a busybody neighbor. I'm not into people's business. But, the people that I follow on Instagram or on YouTube, I want to know everything about them. Show me your cats, your dirty dishes. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just, crazy like that. I just want to see. So she's been putting a lot of videos of her life and what happens every day, and I really enjoy that. And look at this little detail of her tag there. So she is Ashlovmakes on Etsy, and she included her little sheep polymer clay sheep. Look at that cute little polymer clay sheep. And this really pretty stitch marker. And she also gave me a measuring tape, which you can never have too many of these. I have 3 of these and they're all lost right now. So right now this is my only measuring tape that I can actually use because I have no idea what I did with the other 3. So thank you so much, Ashley. Lovely card that she put in there. And I also received a package. Oh my gosh, you guys. Clarissa Beth told me she was going to send me a package. And she had mentioned that part of the package is something that was sent to me by my lovely peeps who went to EYF. And I almost cried. I really did. And I'm not a crying type of person, but I was so touched by this particular item that I received because, okay, so in high school I was not Miss Popularity. As you're shocked, right? You're shocked that I was not Miss Popularity. No, I played tennis and I did art, so I spent most of my time on a tennis court or in the art room with my best friend who was getting married in May. We did art. That's what we did. We were not, I couldn't be bothered to be trying to be hanging out with people that didn't like to do what I wanted to do, which was either play tennis or make art. So I have a yearbook, my high school yearbook, which has 3 signatures in it. It has Frank, my best friend's signature in it, my French teacher who wrote me a long-ass passage in French, and I think a couple random people signed it, and I think my tennis coach and some people from the team. So basically, you could probably count on, I probably have 10 signatures in my yearbook in high school. And so what's funny is that I received this book that was sent to me by you lovely peeps at EYF, and it's got these beautiful notes, and I'm telling you guys, I got very emotional. I was sitting in the car and I was like, get it together, Claudia, get it together, because just reading these notes and who they're from, it touched me so well. So well. It touched me so deeply in my heart. And I just want to say thank you that you thought of me and that you took the time to write such lovely notes. I've got Faye here, and Charlie, and Lisa, and Jenny, and Allison, Clarissa Beth, Caroline, which you have the most fantastic handwriting. I am not a yarn snob. I'm slightly a handwriting snob. I really appreciate people who can handwrite beautifully, and you have beautiful penmanship. And I've got Vivian, and I've got Catherine. I believe this is Catherine's signature down here, who said such beautiful things to me. And did you guys know I had a twin sister? Yes, I have a twin sister. News update flash. Here, meet my twin, Claudia, who also goes by Claudia. This is the hand-drawn napkin with, I mean, look at us. We are like, can you tell us apart? No, I can't. You know, what's funny is that at EYF, I don't know if you were following Faye's stories at EYF, but several people, Charlie and I think Jenny, right, were masquerading as me at EYF. And they would put this on their face. And they did the most wonderful Claudia-esque escapades at EYF. And it was so funny. And you know what's funny is that I have Claudia, Frida, impersonating Claudia. What do you think of that? So I told Faye, you've got to send me this napkin because I want to frame it. I love it. It was so funny. I really enjoyed, that I was part of EYF, and I feel like I got this. And you know what's really cool about this? This is about like when you go to yarn shows, because it tells you about patterns to shop for. Look at this. Patterns to shop for. And it lets you put notes in it. It's got grid, paper. It's got show highlights. Like, this is going to be the perfect book to take to Yarndale. So I can't wait. Can't wait. And you know what? This is going to be my yearbook. I'm going to have people sign this. I'm just going to bring this, and if you see me hand it to you, just sign it. Even if you just put your name on it, it'll be my memento for my Yarndale trip. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you so much, guys, for sending me that. I love it. Then, you guys know Clarissa Beth opened up her Etsy shop at Dainty by Crochetcakes, and she sent me my own teacup bag, which I love. Look at this beautiful lace fabric. Look at her tag. It says, handmade with love, Crochetcakes. Right there. Do you see that? And then it's got this, it's nice and squishy. It's got a zipper on it, and it's got this beautiful fabric inside. I love it. Thank you so much, Clarissa Beth. I love my bag. So please check out her store. Support her. It's not easy. It's not easy being a maker, and everything that you make, this here is a lot of sweat, labor, tears, frustration, triumphs. This little project bag here is a culmination of so many things that I am full of gratitude that you have gifted me this, and full of appreciation for the time and effort that you put into it. And I wish you nothing but the best and the most success with your project bags, because they're beautiful, they're unique, and they're made by you. And I think that says, I mean, it's one thing when you buy a random project bag from somebody that you don't know because you like the project bag, but when you know the person who created the project bag, to me, I have a deeper connection. And every time I see this, I will think of you, and I love it. And thank you so much. Like I said, thank you so much. And I will probably be buying more, because I will probably be buying project bags from you, because I seem to be addicted to project bags. And I love that you're hand painting and you're embroidering. I mean, that takes so much time and effort. And so keep on, good luck, and let's get it done. Let's make some more project bags. She sent me also the cutest freaking card. Look at that. Mermaids. love it. And this yarn, I mean, I am so thankful and grateful for everything that it has sent to me. And this, I am especially thankful and grateful because I have been dying to try Kayleen's yarn. Kayleen is a Little Bean Loves yarn. Elizabeth sent me this beautiful yarn, which she said was a sock blank that she has taken the time to unwind, to undo and wind up, cake up for me. So look at these beautiful colors. I can't wait to work with this. Thank you so much. I also got a mini from Diabolical Yarns, which is this beautiful yarn. I love minis. Look at that. And this one has sparkle. I don't know that you can see it, but this has sparkle. This is the tag. And then this yarn says 100, she said 100% Falkland Merino Catherine. So I'm assuming it's from Crafternoon Treats. I'm not sure, but it is the softest, most beautiful. I mean, it's so soft and squishy. Look at the beautiful color. So I am so thankful. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for sending me that. Oh, and then she sent me, look, an embroidery kit. I'm telling you, embroidery is, it's so addicting. I love it. I'm really enjoying it. I also want to talk to you about something I received in the mail from Quaylen of the Quoe Podcast. He is debuting an enamel pin, and I think it's pretty fabulous. It is his Stash Buster pin. Can you see that? It's amazing. It's on my French supply bag with my other pins. And he has gifted a pin for the podcast. So I will be doing a giveaway with this pin along with the most amazing practical little, I don't know what you call it, keychain, crochet keychain that you could ever want. It's got 3 sizes plus some stitch markers. So he gifted that. So I will be putting together a little giveaway with these 2 things. And he also had some of these really cool pins made with his Quoe logo and just other different things to say, like break the status. You can see it there. Can you see it? I'm horrible at showing these things. You guys know I'm horrible. Anyway, check out Quaylen's shop if you're interested in the pin. And also, this is a really practical thing because, you know, I've been places where I was just, where was I the other day? For some reason, my hook wasn't in my pattern in my project bag, and I was so upset. And I'm going to put my little keychain hook thing on my actual keychain with my keys, so that I don't ever run out, because it's a 3mm, 4mm, 5mm thing. I will check out the description at the bottom for this, and I will put in the exact sizes of these hooks, okay? So there's that. And then I do want to do a little plug for my pin. You guys, I am so proud of my newest enamel pin, which is my Crochet Friends pin. I can't even tell you how happy I am with this pin. I hope that you guys, for those of you who have purchased it, that you will love it and that it will bring you as much. I just smile when I look at it. Look at it. See that? Here's my pin. It says, Crochet Friends are the best of friends. I love this pin so much, and I think it's because it embodies how I feel about our crochet community. I feel like you guys are all the best kind of people, and I feel like you guys are all friends. And so I had that, I had this pin in mind a long time ago, and I had a setback with it, which I will talk about in my next podcast, which I already have started the notes for, because it's something that I think is important to talk about. And I will give you the backstory on that pin on that podcast. So if you would like to have your own Crochet Friends pin, please check out my Etsy shop, and hopefully you'll like what you see there. I also have a couple project bags in there. I really want to work hard to get some good quality, fun prints, things that you guys will like, things that I would like. I would never put something in my shop that I personally would not want for myself. I just want you to know that. So I think there's like 3 bags left in my shop, and the pins are in there. So like I said, immensely grateful for your support, immensely grateful that you favorite my shop, immensely grateful if you purchased anything. So thank you so much for that. As you know, I ran a giveaway for the Blurred Lines sweater, which is the pattern by Addydae Designs, and I wanted you to tell me who your bad boy or bad girl would be. Even if you don't participate in the crochet along, that's okay. You could have still told me, and it entered you into the giveaway for the pattern. And the winner, the pattern, and I'm throwing in my Crochet Friends pin. So you will win that Crochet Friends pin. So the winner is Claudia from Germany, whose Ravelry name is difficult for me to pronounce. I will put it right here. I will try it. I think it's boerewors. I don't know. And it's African, and she said in her introduction that it means sausage. So I told her that if I was going to choose a Ravelry name for me that was food related, it would be pan dulce, which means sweet bread in Spanish, because sweet bread is my weakness. It's my kryptonite. I can't help it. I guess it would be the opposite of kryptonite. I know, it's my crack. I don't know. I love it. I dream about it. I yearn for it. I love sweet bread. I love it. So that would be my name. So Claudia, contact me. Oh no, you don't have to contact me. Yes, you do. Contact me, send me your address, and I will send you a Crochet Friends enamel pin. So, and then you'll get the pattern straight from Deanne of Addydae Designs. And her bad boy, this is the one I thought was really interesting. So she would pick Darcy or Han Solo. Now Darcy was a big player last summer in the Summer of Romance. So Darcy or Han Solo. And Claudia is a legit artist, you guys. She paints in oils, watercolors, pencil. You can find her at Redbubble to see her work. I will put I'll put the link to her page on Redbubble so you can still look at her beautiful paintings, which I did. Take a gander. They're really good. And that is about it. I think I'm done. Wait, no. I'm missing Pattern Palooza. Yes. Okay. Pattern Palooza this week is all Pearls Soho. Now, God, I can't believe. You know what? I'm not done. I have a bunch of other stuff I need to talk to you about. All right, let's do Pattern Palooza first. So Pearl Soho will gift you for free one of their paid patterns on their website if you sign up for their newsletter. And I will show you the information here, and I will put a link down below. These are some of the paid patterns that you can choose from. I think these are the paid patterns you can choose from. I think this is it right here. This is it. The crochet one is right here, which is a granny blanket. There's some embroidery there, and some felting, quilting, and of course knitting. but they also have free crochet patterns. It's not a lot, but they have a good variety that I will show you. I picked my favorite ones that if I had a choice to make, I would make. The first one is what they call a, what are they calling this? I don't even know. It's a cow. It's a two-tone cow. Isn't that pretty? This is a free pattern on the Pearls Soho website. I think it's lovely. Here's another look at it. And I believe here's a side view. So I think this is a great little pattern. You'll see the picture of it. You'll know exactly what you're looking for. If you go to the Pearl Soho website, free patterns, click on crochet, you will see this one. Then I saw this one called Ripple Scarf. It's a very simple, I believe this is all double crochet. It's a very simple pattern, but sometimes simple is best, you know? Sometimes simple is good. And I thought that was really pretty. We also have, now this is pretty interesting because I've been thinking about doing something like this with my little scraps of yarn that I have. And they have a pattern for these bracelets that take one button. See that? I think that's a great little project for like leftover yarn. So that's on their website for free, as well as this gorgeous, gorgeous blanket. This is called a tonal blanket. I don't know if you can get a feel for the different, these are different tones of color going through this blanket. It's almost like a gradient. Check out the website so you can get a better feel for the colors of the pictures. I thought that was really pretty. And a really, really cute cushion. Home sweet home sweet. So those are all free patterns on the Pearl Soho website. If you sign up for their newsletter, like I said, you get access to download one of their 12 paid patterns. I personally, because this, I think this is the only crochet one, this like granny stripe blanket, they have like this knitted sweater is absolutely gorgeous. But what I chose to do is, because I am a beginning knitter, I'm always on the lookout for basic knitting projects. I found this basic hats for everyone. And you can make all of these hats. Really nice. There's also a beginning knitters package there. I love the way that looks. Look how pretty that is. Alright, it's getting noisy around me. I don't know if you guys can pick that up, but there's helicopters and dogs and all kinds of shenanigans going on. But here's another view of those simple knitted hats. So definitely worth checking out. I think it's hey, they're free patterns, why not? I mean, that cow looks really pretty. I love the pink with the gray. I think it looks really pretty. So there's that. Then I wanted to do some podcast shout outs, which I didn't do last time. I've been watching some new to me podcasts, and I want to make sure that you guys know about Talia Louise. She is Talia Louise Crochet. She's got 4 episodes out. She's from Australia. That's Natalie Power, also on YouTube. So you can find her as Talia Louise Crochet or Natalie Power. So I will put that name here. Then I've got Straub's Design. That's Anne. I believe Anne is for the Netherlands. Netherlands or Finnish? Netherlands. And she has you guys check out her podcast. She did this Wonder Woman shawl that is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I think she knits and crochets, I believe. So check her out. She's got like 20 episodes. I don't even know why she hasn't popped up on my YouTube before, because she does beautiful work and I love to see her projects. Then there is Kalisha from the Quirky Monday Craftcast. Check out Kalisha. Oh my god, I am loving her podcast. She does something called Black Lives Threads or something like that, where she gives you a history of African American in fiber history, which I love. I love, love, love. Please keep doing that. It is amazing. It's wonderful. I love what you're doing with your podcast. I love your projects. She also does bags. So she's got an Etsy shop. I will link her Etsy shop. And I will link her podcast. Check it out. It's lovely. She's also a poetess. She writes beautiful poetry. So if you follow her on Instagram, you can get a slice of her poetry on Instagram. Then there's Nicole from Rob Creations. She has four episodes. She owns a bookstore, so she'll give you book recommendations. She crochets, she sews, and she has an Etsy shop as well. So those are, I think I've covered everything, you guys. I think I've covered everything. But I have a giveaway. Now, I didn't do anything for my podiversary. My podiversary was March 30th. I was thinking about doing something to celebrate it, but you know what? Every podcast, blogcast, is a celebration of yarn and fiber in my life. So I feel that, I felt like, you know what? That's enough for me. Every time I can record a podcast and upload a podcast and interact with you is a celebration of my fiber life. So, hey, happy podiversary to me, and thank you so much for every single one of you who have watched from the beginning, new subscribers, old subscribers, everyone. I am grateful for each and every one of you. I am grateful for each comment, for everything that you do to interact with me. I appreciate it so much. So I have this new pin, this Crochet Friends pin that I have designed, and I am completely lifting this off Gerard from the Hand Me Downs podcast. Gerard, I'm going to use your Ravelry group mercilessly. So let me explain. So Gerard, a few podcasts ago, had a thread called Truth. And I don't even know. Let's see. Well, what is Truth? What is the name of his thread? Where he put 3 things on there, 3 sentences. One of those things was untrue, and you had to guess which one it was. So some of you know about this, like Nina Camilleri, because you, okay, so there's the people that responded to what I wrote were Atrinka, Nina Camilleri, Gerard, Lisa Crow, Ackliff, and Rocket Mountain Penny. You guys all tried to guess what the thing was that was untrue in what I wrote. So I wrote number 1. So I'm going to give you 3 things. 1 is not true. Number 1, I love tattoo art, and as soon as I was able to, I had a tattoo inked on my back. Number 2, I made a video once with legendary tennis coach Brad Gilbert that featured Anna Kournikova, the Bryan brothers, and an NCAA college singles player. Number 3, I paid for art school by working as a life drawing model, which meant I spent hours upon hours either fully naked, partially naked, or in period costumes. So this is what I want you to do. I'm going to open up a thread on my Ravelry group, and I will post these 3 things on my Ravelry group. And from the people who guess correctly, I will choose one person. I will put you in like a numerical list, and I will random number generate a winner that will get my newest Crochet Friends pin. Giving full credit to this idea for this to Gerard of the Hand Me Downs podcast, which I love. I love that podcast. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, because you will learn something about English history or Catholic religion or just great yarns and awesome projects. Like, he did this beautiful knitted shawl that I was blown away. But what I love most about Gerard's podcast is when he takes us out to look at his town, or he goes to different places and then he's telling you the history of, like, he went to Oxford and he was explaining all these things. Like, I am a sucker for that. Like, if Gerard, if you just had a channel where you walked around England and you talked about things and English history, I would be so down to watch that. So again, full credit for the What is Truth idea goes to Gerard of the Hand Me Downs podcast, but I am going to incorporate that in my Ravelry thread, where you will go and choose to see which one of these things is not true, and then I will choose a winner from the people who guess correctly. Just a little fun and games for you guys. So again, my name is Claudia. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook, my blog as Crochetluna. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for participating in the cow. Thank you so much for any upcoming participation in either the Dobby Bag Mouth and the Summer of Romance 2018 crochet along that will be hosted by Elizabeth of Crochetcakes and myself. So thank you so much for all your wonderful support. My plan is to record a podcast in May, but like I said, I have so much going on, and I will be celebrating 10 years of a wonderful marriage to an incredible man who allows me to sit in front of a camera and talk to you about yarn. Because really, he just is like, he loves it. I mean, he loves that this is my thing, and he supports it 100%. And I think that is wonderful, and it's special, and I love him dearly for it. So I count myself lucky to be married to such a man. So again, you guys, crochet on. Have a wonderful rest of April. I will see you in May, and that's it. Bye.